The following is the extract of a course linked in the description.
All right, guys. Thank you again for joining this video. What I'm gonna show you today is how we're gonna lay out your first track, right? Basically, so it's just gonna be a little bit of the basics, but I'm gonna explain some of the most common things that you're gonna run into. So let's just get going, right? The first thing, as far as making a track or making a beat, usually depends on your workflow. Some people will start with the melody. Some other people will start um, with the drums, right? Most of the times, the drums seems to be a lot easier to make because I think the reason that is because the melody actually requires people to have a little bit more knowledge on the music theory, right? So for that, some people might find it a little bit difficult to actually make the melodies, and they're gonna work on the drum first, and then maybe add something. Some people will say, you know what, the melody is actually hard for me, so let me focus on it because I know after that the drums are gonna come easily. It really depends. Usually, I start with the melody a lot more, but really depends. I might be experiencing with a drum pattern, and if I find something that sounds good, I might just jump in and finish the drum pattern and add the melody later on. So to help you, what I would probably recommend at the very beginning, especially if you don't have knowledge on music theory, is to use some loops, right? And to use loops, I had actually recommended a service on one of the other videos, which is Splice. So Splice.com actually provide you with a lot of samples that you can actually use. So right now I'm not logging on this one, but I have the application over here. So actually, let me log in so I can show you a little bit. Don't have the password, you know what? Yeah, you know what? That's not a problem. So, but I'm logging over here, and basically, when you log in, you're gonna have a set of samples that um, you can actually preview, and if something sounds good to you, you can download it, right? So over here, so actually let me go over here. I have there are some packs over here. It seems like those packs over here I actually had saved those. So I have some packs over here, right? So let's go and listen. Let's say we listen to this one, and we can preview the sound, right? And if it's something that we found is good, we can just download it there, right? So this is what you basically have with Splice. You have also a desktop application here, or you can also preview it on the web. It works the same way. So I actually was looking at some. Let me just go to, oh yeah, so over here. So I was just looking at some samples there, and this one. So this one seems to me it seemed okay to me, and I think what, that could be something that I could use for this demo. It does provide you over here with the key, but it also provides you over here with the BPM, which is basically the speed. This tends to be around the 140. It's a little bit more of a trap, of a drill kind of beat. So this is the kind of music that we're gonna make, and let's just jump in. So I'm gonna come up here. I have it here over here, and the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to drag and drop it in FL Studio. So I'm going to come up here, and I can drop it over here when I can actually drop it over here as a channel right. But because this is a loop that I'm going to be using, it seems to me it's a lot better if I just drop it over here right in the playlist. So let me do that. I'm going to drop it here. Okay, so at the moment right now it's not really it doesn't snap at the very beginning, And if I try to move it like I want it to snap, and the way I can do it is to look at this symbol over here, which is a little bit like a magnet. So if I click over here right now, it's letting me know that it's looking at the snapping that is in the main one. So the one that's overlooking everything. I don't want it to look at this. I wanted to set up the snapping for this window only. So over here I have the different options that I have available. And in this case, I want it actually to snap on the beat. So I'm going to select it, and you're going to see that now when I'm moving that, it actually seems to, but it's still not, you know what, I can still drop it here. Now it seems to be better now, right? So now I can have it here, and it's gonna snap over here. So usually to make this window a lot bigger, you could click over here, and the shortcuts for that one is an easy one. Is just enter, and it makes it full, a little bit of a full screen for you, right? So you just press enter, it's gonna go there. One thing I'm gonna bring your attention to is you're gonna see that over here it seems to end in a weird place. It's not really at the end of the bar over here, right? Of the at the end of the bar over here, or the beat over here, it doesn't reach there. And that's the reason that is because this sample over here is going at 140, but we have our speed over here at 130. So we want to make sure that the speed of our project is matching the speed of the sample. So I just come up here. I can either drag and drop that here, right? Just move the cursor over here, or I can right click and click over here. There is already some options for me. And when I give it 140, 140, you're gonna see that now it does fit nicely in this section over here. So we're gonna listen to it a little bit more, one more, and you're gonna see right now if I press play, no, we're not gonna hear anything. Is because it's gonna play. Let me come back here. It's gonna play whatever we have on the pattern, but right now we don't have anything on the pattern. So if I press play, you're gonna see that nothing, we cannot hear anything. If we want to hear what is here, we need to make sure that we select song, and now actually you're gonna see even this little cursor is gonna appear here when it's on pattern. We don't have anything, but when it plays on song, now it appears, and when I press play now, it's gonna come up, right? So basically we have our song playing. So in this case over here, let's listen to the song as well. And what I'm gonna do, actually usually I don't like to drop it, but because I think it's a little bit loud on my hand, I just want to make sure that you gonna hear me well. I'm just gonna drop it here. Yeah, that's fine. So what I'm gonna do, I don't want to listen to the other part over there. I find, I mean, it's fine, but just for the sake of what I want to do, or based on my creativity, I just feel like I don't need this second part. What I can do, I can come up here, and I can just cut it here to where I want those four bars over here, right? Or the other thing that I could have done is to come up here, select the cut tool over here, and just cut it here, right? And delete, select again this draw tool, and select again the draw tool, and I just need to um right click, and I can delete this part now. So when I delete it now, when I'm gonna keep pasting the main one, right, and basically either the draw or the paste over here is gonna make us add it in the playlist. It's gonna just have the section that I selected here, the four bar. So if you listen to it, and it's gonna repeat, and it's gonna repeat. So that's just what I want for I mean for the song that I'm making here, right? So we have the melody basically that we got from Splice. What we want to do now is add the beat, right? To add the beat, Slice as well does provide you with some drums actually. Oh, where did I go? with some drums that you can actually download. So if I come up here, if I go kick, you can see that we have some kicks there, we have some snares, and we're gonna get into it. You're gonna have some people as well online that are gonna be selling you some packs. You know, if you really like the song of what they're providing, go ahead buy it. But basically, Splice does provide a lot of it for you, right? Whether you're looking for the kick, the snare, percussions, shakers, hi-hat, open hi-hat, open hat. We have all of that on Splice. We just need to make a search and it's gonna come up. Okay. But the other thing that I want to show you, let's say you have downloaded a sample pack somewhere. So if I come up here, actually what I'm gonna do, let me see if I can uh, I wanted to see if I can reduce this. No, I don't want to put it. You know what? That's the first time I actually try to do this. I would actually want to resize FL Studio, but it doesn't seem like I can do that. Anyway, it's not a problem. What I wanted to show you over here is I have a folder that I have over here, and this folder over here just have a set of um, samples, right? And those samples, if I listen to one, it's just that only sound there, right? And this is a sample that I bought a long time ago, I think early 2000, and I kept it all those years, and yeah, so this is a list of samples there, so you can have your list of your folder with all the samples that you need that you want, and basically you can have access to them straight from FL Studio. So if we what I'm going to do is, let me see if I can, yeah, just go over here, click here, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drag and drop this in the browser over here, right? So that's why I wanted to resize it. When I'm going to do that, you're going to see it has added this folder here called modern beats, which is the same one that we had over here, but you need to make sure that where this folder is located in your computer is the right place, because if you move it, this this is gonna be lost. It's not gonna know that uh, where you moved it to, right? The other, so if you don't want to do the same thing that I just did here to drag and drop it, the other way to go about it, you're gonna come up here to this arrow that we have over here that opens a menu. We're gonna go over here to content to configure extra folders, and over here basically this is where we can look for any folder that we wanna add, right? So if we add a folder, we just need to go where we have that located, and this is where we're gonna add it. In this section over here, by default is gonna get the name of the folder, but we can rename it and give our own name. So now you're gonna see that is right now we're gonna have it as sample. If I just close that now, it was modern beats before, but now it is sample, right? If I go back and configure extra, and I'm gonna delete that, right? I'm gonna close it. It's gonna go from sample to modern beats, right? So now that we have that, this makes it easy now for us to listen to preview songs over here, right? And it makes it easy for us to build our track. So I'm just gonna go really quickly. What I need first, I like that sound, is a kick. I'm just gonna provide a kick here, right? I'm just gonna add that kick over here, and I'm gonna listen to it really quickly. So I have the kick. I'm also gonna look for a snare. Um, yeah, the snare. You know what? Let's just go with this. Let me see if I can find another snare. Yeah, let's go with that one, right? And let me see. Yeah, let's go with that one. And I'm also gonna use some type of hi-hat. just like this, right? So I already have all the sound that I've added here. Now it depends, how you're making the song. I just want to make something quick here. It might take a little bit of time to find the right samples that you want to use on a song, right? So if I come up here now, I'm gonna listen to the song, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna come up here in the first pattern, and I'm gonna try to set something. Because this is a little bit of a drill, what's gonna drive it is gonna be the hi-hat. So I'm gonna do the pattern of the hi-hat first. So let me paste it here, and let's go ahead and do the pattern of the hi-hat. And usually the hi-hat for the drill type of for drill is usually about the same. It's gonna be over here, and it's gonna skip about uh, 2 steps, and it's gonna come up here. We're gonna skip another 2 steps, and then it's gonna start over here on the um third beats over here, right? So we have it here, and we're just gonna repeat it just like this. Let's listen to it a little bit. Let me just come up here, and let me just make it a little bit larger like this, and let's redo that process. Why is it 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4? It's because I'm not over here. Okay, perfect. So okay, so let's listen to this. I'm just gonna double it now, just over here, just like this. Let's listen to this again. So we're just gonna see like this over here is gonna be our pattern. So this is gonna be our hi-hat pattern, and what we're gonna do, we're just gonna name it, and we're gonna leave it at like this, and we're gonna move to another pattern. So we're just gonna come up here, we're gonna rename it just over here, and I'm just gonna say hi-hat. Okay, so I have renamed it, and now I can move into selecting my second pattern where I'm gonna work for. So what I'm gonna work for that one, let's say we're gonna build the drums on this one. So this is where I'm gonna start building the drums, and I can add it here. So let's listen to this. So on this one, it seems like something is off. It seems like I'm not able to hear properly. No, look, everything is fine. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reset the root note of that sample. Sometimes it could happen that the way the sample was recorded came with a certain root note, but it's not the proper root note, so it might mess up a little bit of sound of how the sample is gonna come off. It's gonna come up, but I just come up here, reset, and it's gonna set the root note to C5, right? So when we're over here, let's go ahead, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna loop this section here. So I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna add the kicks now. Again, for this one, if you listen to it, basically if I go over here, it's not on the right, it doesn't have the right root note, right? So I just need to press on the reset over here. Now it sounds perfect, right? So we're just gonna have it here, and let's listen to the song. So this is the perfect way, the perfect place to see how we use those patterns. So over here, you're gonna see, maybe I just want this over here to do boom, ta, ta, boom, ta, ta. But in the other place, I want to add some other section. So this I want to leave like this, but I want to add another type of patterns that use the kick and the snare over here. So I'm gonna leave it like this, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy I'm gonna clone this pattern over here. Actually, I'm gonna rename this, and I'm just gonna call it drums. This is my number one drums for the pattern. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna clone this, and now he has basically copy whatever I had here and select it here, and it's basically the same thing. But now for this one, I'm gonna make some changes, right? So basically, so I have one pattern over here. I have one pattern that just does this, and I have a second pattern that basically add this. Okay, so basically this is what we have. So we have one pattern for the hi-hats, one pattern for our first drum, one pattern for a second drum that we're gonna rename over here, and we're gonna call it drums number two, right? And we have over here for the first track, this is where we have our loop over here that's running. We have another one that we can use over here, and we can definitely do that fairly easily, and maybe we want to put it on its own pattern. But let's say we added it over here by accident. We added it here in the second drum, the second drum pattern. So let's just go over here. Actually, let me just do that without listening to. Okay, something is happening here. I'm not hearing anything because it's on a wrong root note, right? So I just need to make it here. Okay, so if you listen to, if we listen to the whole song, so in this place over here, we're only hearing it here, but maybe we want to hear it throughout the whole song. So what I'm gonna do, I just need to come up here. I want to put it on its own patterns. I just need to cut it, right? I'm gonna go ahead, select a new pattern, and I'm gonna paste it just over here. And now I have a fourth pattern with just the tambourine, just like this. And now what I can do is just add it over here, just at the bottom here. Maybe I might make some changes. I just want to hear it just like this, and we're gonna maybe bring the sound a little bit down because the sound of the tambourine is a little bit basically it's on the same frequency as, it's pretty close to the hi-hat, right? So we can is to make it a little bit better, what we're gonna do, depending on how you want to be creative, but I'm gonna have the sound of the hi-hat to be dominant and the sound of the tambourine to just be a little bit more in the background as well. So if we listen to the whole track as of now. So this is what we have. So with that, maybe we say that this is our foundation, and we're gonna go ahead and maybe start building a little bit more of the track there, right? So for us to do that, we can just increase it over here. We're gonna You can come in this select over here and drag and select everything. The other shortcut that is there is you press on the command. If you're on the Mac, press on command and you start dragging, just dragging when you are on the draw over here, and it's gonna select it, right? So that saves you to coming over here and selecting and going back here and doing whatever you want to do. When you're on the draw over here, you can do pretty much everything, just command and just drag. So over here, another thing that we can do is just Command C, Command B. is gonna paste it in the next spots available for us. And right now, basically, we have a little bit more of the skeleton of the song, and we can maybe make changes. So this is a little bit of a quick rundown on making a track, right? It does cover a little bit of a few things all at the same time, but what I just covered here is about 90% of the things that you're going to be using for every track. There is some other things that you might need as you go along, but 90% of it is whatever I just covered here. There is one thing that we haven't done is adding an instrument, an extra melody to it, but I'm gonna cover that in another video. For this one, I just wanted to have a loop really quickly and add a quick skeleton of a drum or of a drum pattern there, and there is nothing fancy. This is not a hit, right? You're never gonna hear that on the radio, but it does give us the foundation on how to build a track on FL Studio. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it here. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions.